Hello everyone, this is the great Lord and Master Osiron, the Eternal, for what should be, if I do my job properly, one of the most amazing discoveries that I have yet to make in the Tarot and the True Tree of Life series, next to the Osiron Tarot Spiral. This is amazing. I actually got into this with the Sophia extension video, in that it deals with this structure here that is derived when you combine the true tree and the jewel, and there's an actual mechanical aspect to it. It's a fusion aspect, and it reveals this structure here. Three intersecting or interlocking hexagonal modules. And it reveals this over here. But I'll get to this a little bit later. I want to highlight something here because this was supposed to be the main presentation, but then I discovered this. And I'm calling this basically the unified tree of divine truth or something like that, of divine perfection, or Osiron's rings or something like that. But this, I want to expound on this a little more because there's a lot more going on with this than I got into that short video I made on the Sophia extension. As you see, each section is separated in quadrants, as I got to, and it has the cardinal and it has the feminine and masculine houses in each season. And down here it starts out with Capricorn and Pisces. But what it actually does is it goes in a figure 8 motion. So down here we have the beginning in the womb of the year with Capricorn and Pisces. Then it goes up here to spring, and then we see Aries in this one here for the spring. And then it goes over to summer with Cancer and Virgo. And then it goes down to Libra and Sagittarius, and it repeats again. And it forms this figure 8 motion. It goes winter, spring, summer, fall, then back to winter, spring, summer, fall, winter, spring, summer, fall, and it keeps repeating in a figure 8 loop like that. But that's not all it does. It actually shows that the feminine aspect from winter to spring and then from summer to autumn traverses all three worlds. So you see this is broken into three worlds. Well, the transition from the feminine to the masculine covers all three worlds, whereas the masculine only operates in the world that it's in. So down here we go from winter to spring. This covers three worlds, and then the masculine aspect goes from the masculine pillar to the feminine, and it stays in this one world, and it doesn't leave it. And then the feminine again traverses all three worlds, and then the masculine aspect again goes from the masculine pillar to the feminine, only in the world that it's in, and it never leaves it. And the cherubics do something amazing too. The cherubics, if you recall from the Osiron Tarot Spiral series, the cherubics precess, they go backwards, and we're seeing this here. The cherubics are all in the middle, and if you start from Aquarius and you process backwards, it does the same exact thing as this. It goes Aquarius to Scorpio, to Leo, and then to Taurus, and then it goes back to Aquarius. But if you do it the other way, and also doing it this way follows the Kundalini, I'm sorry, that doesn't. If you do it the proper way, or the forward motion, it follows the Kundalini awakening aspects. But this time it begins in Taurus, which is again on the feminine side. It begins, and then it goes from Taurus to, lost my train of thought here. It goes from Taurus to Leo, then to Scorpio, and then to Aquarius. So it follows the Kundalini awakening from body, fire, then the water and the heart, and then the mind. So if it goes forward motion, it does that. So we're seeing a lot of amazing stuff. And there's even more of this. All of the Zodiac houses that are in this lower structure are all below the abyss. All of these four are below the abyss, whereas all of these upper ones here are above the abyss. So that's why this is feminine, because it's below the abyss. This is masculine, and they're all above the abyss. And then, if you recall, how we determine the cherubic placement is, and I'll start here, we have Capricorn and Pisces, and we follow this straight line through, and that's where you put Aquarius. Well, that is also on the feminine triangle, and that's why that's and that's also below the abyss. Same thing with Libra and Sagittarius. These are below the abyss. You follow this straight line through, and you put Scorpio, which is also below the abyss, on the feminine triangle. Aries in this one, same thing, straight line through. You have Taurus, that's above the abyss, and it's on the masculine triangle. Then you have Cancer and Virgo, and follow the straight line through, and Leo is above the abyss on the masculine side. So there's a lot going on here in relation to the zodiac. Very, very powerful, and it's all congruent. And we're seeing this is very amazing. There's also something else real quickly with the zodiac I want to get to. It shows because the main theme of all of this is that the feminine precedes the masculine. That's the main issue with all of this. And if you start with the zodiac laid out, there's only two cycles in the zodiac. The zodiac is broken up into twos, right? And there's two main cycles of what we're seeing. And it starts out with feminine at the top, which is Capricorn and Cancer. And then on the very end of it is masculine. So we're going from feminine to masculine again. And in the middle are all the variants of what's going on. So we see feminine, then masculine, cherubic, and then feminine, masculine, and then masculine, feminine, then feminine, cherubic, and so on and so forth. Now the cherubics do go from masculine first and then feminine, but don't forget the cherubics do precess. So it's actually, if you look at the cherubics backwards, then it's actually feminine cherubic and then masculine cherubic. So we're seeing a lot of amazing stuff here. And the tree of life and the jewel also mirror the zodiac. I got into this before, but to clarify on that just a little bit. We see the true tree of life acting as the zero winter. We see the emergence of the body here, and this is the spring, but it's not yet sexually charged or awakened. Then it reaches the top, and then it's awakened. Then it moves through its life in the summer, and then it goes back to below the abyss in the autumn, back down the true tree to the oblivion state of the zero. Now, let me get to one of the most amazing structures I've ever discovered in this series, and this is this. If you wanted to find a universal tree, as if this isn't enough, but if you're looking for a universal tree, you're not going to find anything more universal than this. This construct is absolutely perfect. So this would be like the unified tree of divine perfection. This is what this is, because it is divinely perfect in every way. What we see is 3 rings, and what happens is, what I did over here is once this construct is created, right? Once it's finished, once it's created, all the spheres wipe out to 0 again, and then you build it again from the bottom up using the single digits. And you go from 0 to 18. And this structure mirrors the true tree of life. The true tree of life goes from 0 to 9, and this unified structure goes from 0 to 18, which is just 9. 18 reduces to 9. But you're also going to see the whole middle pillar is comprised of nothing but 3 6s and 9s. It starts out with 0, and then it goes 3, then 6, then 9, and then 12 becomes 3, 15 becomes 6, and then 18 becomes 9. Very, very amazing. But that's not even close to being all. Now what you're going to see is every single triangle on all of these structures reduced to 9. Not just the ones that you see here, but the masculine triangle reduces to 9. The feminine triangle here reduces to 9. The feminine triangle here reduces to 9. The masculine triangle here also reduces to 9. And same thing here. The feminine triangle reduces to 9, and the feminine reduces to 9, and the masculine reduces to 9. All of them do it. And these ones produced a 6-3 opposition, because obviously you have this 6 here, so this reduces to a 3. You have the 3 here, and this reduces to a 6. Now, in this middle, something else happens, which is amazing to show the perfect equilibrium of what's going on. If you add up all of the numbers on this ring here, unreduced, it comes to 63. But then if you go back and add all of the numbers in their reduced form, it adds to 36. So we're seeing perfect polarization, perfect mirrorness of this. And the same thing with this whole thing. If you add all these numbers up, if you add all the numbers up on the middle pillar in the unreduced form, it also comes to 63, which reduces to 9. If you add up all the pillars, all the numbers in the this pillar, it shows its polar opposite of 6. If you add up all the numbers in this pillar, it becomes a 3. So we're seeing 693 presentation again. Something else too, right in the dead center of this construct is the divine 9. Everything below this is a single digit, whereas everything above here is 2 digits, 10, 11, 12, etc. And we see that here, and we're seeing the nature of the construct here. Below is a 1 and above is a 2. So everything above this 9 is duality, everything below here is singularity. And that's still not even close to being all of it. Okay, now we see the heart of this lower construct, which is a feminine construct, a 3. All of its oppositions reduce to 6. So 5, 1 becomes 6, 4, 2 becomes 6, and 6, 0 becomes 6. So it's counterbalancing with its oppositions. A 3 in the center and all of its counters become 6. Up here, the center is 6, and all of its cross oppositions reduce to 3. This is 3, 3, and 3. Actually, this is like, it goes 21, 21, and 30, but it reduces to a 3. And in the middle, it's the same thing. All of the here's a 9 in the center. All of its oppositions reduce to 9. Even these middle ones do that. So 6, 3 becomes 9, but 9, 3 is a 3. So these key center positions are also a 3 and a 6. On these cross areas, you got 3 and a 6. So we're seeing, again, the congruency is perfect. It's absolutely perfect. And that's still not even close to being all. You see these little circle green numbers here? These numbers that are circled in green? Well, these are the pillars. So if you reduce these two spheres, and remember, this is all about duality. Everything, all the videos I've made this year are about duality, and this is no different. Because even this construct is there's 3 spheres here, but it's really duality because you have the feminine, you have the masculine, and then you have the fusion of them in the middle. That's what's going on. But you see these circle numbers, they reveal the middle number 2. You got a 4 and a 2, which becomes 6. Down here you got a 5 and a 7, which reduces to 3. And of course in the middle you got an 8 and a 1, which reduce to 9. But that's still not all. Now the oppositions reduce to 9 as well. So up here we have a 2, and its opposition is a 7, and that becomes 9. Up here, over here, you got a 5, and its opposition is 4, and that reduces to 9. And again, of course, in the middle, 8 and 1 reduce to 9. But you'll notice that the numbers down here that are circled are both feminine in the feminine world, and the numbers up here in the masculine are both masculine, and they do that too. Absolutely, absolutely amazing what's going on with this structure. This is divine perfection. This is absolute. This is as perfect as you could ever get in a geometric construct. And it actually, all it does is reveal the single digit code in its two steps. In here, you have the 0 through 9, which is the root code. And then the next series is the reduced numbers. You know, they're not reduced when they're written here, but when you reduce them, it just goes through one set of 1 through 9. So we got the 9, and we got 10 becomes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So it's showing the core and then the reduced finish. And then there's another amazing aspect. If you recall from the video, like I think it was 2 videos ago, it might have been the Kabbalistic kill stroke, I think it might have been, but I showed a structure that I called the burning bush. Well, we're seeing something amazing with this. 9 is acting as Godhead. So this 9 here is Godhead to us, not the 1. the Kabbalistic tree of life calls the one Godhead, but no, it's not. It's the 9. And what we're seeing here is a confirmation of that. We see the 9 in the dead center here, and that's Godhead. And then these next two spheres are these two here. So these next two are these two, and then this is a 10, and this is 11. And this reduces to a 1, and this reduces to a 2. So again, we're seeing the feminine precede the masculine in the aspect of this. So we have Godhead, and then we have the infusion into the material world with a 1, and then a 2, and then it goes up, and then it becomes ensouled somewhere here, and then it goes up, and then we have illumination at the top, and then we're conscious, and then we go back down. It's the same exact thing in the on the Osiron Tarot Spiral. So the true tree of life structures in the Osiron Tarot Spiral are linked perfectly. Because I've already shown in the Osiron Tarot Spiral series that it reveals the machinations of the true tree, but now we're seeing the Zodiac connection powerfully here. And we're seeing that. And there's also, you could also, in this construct, all these lines, there's actually 22 pathways on this as well. You have all the outer rings which combine to 18. And if you count each of these lines from here to its cherubic as one line, it finishes up with 22 lines. So you could put the tarot trumps on each one of these lines. The court cards are obvious because there's 16 spheres here. When you don't count the heart centers of each, there's 16 spheres, one for each court card. And then for the pips, you would just put 3 for each outer sufferer. That's how you get that. So you could put the whole entire tarot on this construct as well. I haven't worked on that yet. There's actually more that I haven't worked on, but this video is going to be long enough as it is with the material I have to present. But there's actually a lot more with this that this actually uses every possible number code you can use, and it has amazing aspects to go along with it. But the reason I picked this one is because this is the most perfect one. This goes 0 through 18 following the same pattern as a true tree. And obviously what it reveals is just nothing short of stunning, because it's perfect. It's divinely perfect in every way. This thing is the image of perfection in geometry and numerology. Absolutely perfect. What it just reveals, there isn't a single flaw in this thing. Everything is polarized. Everything is congruent with everything else. It counterbalances itself perfectly in every way. There is not a structure that anyone could ever create that would surpass this, because it's impossible. Because this is the image of Godhead on this board here. That's why I didn't put a title up top here, because I didn't want to take away from this divinely beautiful structure. This is absolutely perfect. And the only thing is, I'm just hoping I'm not forgetting anything right now. But I'm pretty sure I covered everything, all the major points, and I'm pretty happy with it, as it is. So I think this is going to be a wrap. Thank you, and namaste.